Hi, this is Grant Daly at NeighborWorks Lincoln and the Holly Hamlet, and I'm going to show you today how you can plant your own plants in your yard at home. So here we have a patch where we've dug up a section of the yard. You can see these kind of nice two soil plots. The soil is really dark and soft, and this is pretty decent soil. If you're just digging up for the first time, it's likely not going to look quite this nice, but what you can do is you can take the greenery, you can dig it up, and then you can work it with a shovel or a trowel or whatever you have available to break it up a little bit without shredding it, but getting it to a point where it looks, kind of like a chunky but nice textured topsoil. We're going to start with the purchased tomato plant. So we have this tomato ready, and we're going to dig up that hole a little bit and then take that plant with its root system. We want to keep that root system intact. And we're going to take soil and we're just going to surround the outside of the base of that plant. You're going to press down and kind of keep pressure at the base of the plant so that we can ensure that the root system is intact and is well situated in the ground here. So that way, as wind comes in or rain, you know that the plant will stay intact and well supported. So now that the tomato's done, we're also going to do a pepper. So this is kind of the traditional salsa garden. You can dig up another spot for the pepper. This is a little bit smaller of a plant, so we're not going to bury it quite as deep, but we're just going to really do the same thing that we did with the tomato. Get it into the soil, press down to make sure it's in there securely, and then you're done. So now that we've got both of our plants in the soil, the next step is getting some moisture on them and watering them so that they'll continue to grow. So we're going to start with the pepper here, adding a bit of water, and we're going to kind of what seems initially as overwatering, we're just going to let it pool a little bit. That'll soak in pretty quickly. We don't want to flood the plant, we don't want to damage its root system, but we want to make sure quite a bit of water gets into that plant, and that'll keep it going for a few days. We're going to do the same thing with the tomato. Now, if you don't have any open soil available that's good for planting, you could always use a pot as well. So we've just bought some potting soil here, and we have a standard pot with a dish. Leave some room left over for the plant. So we're gonna just kind of spread that out a little bit. And the same with the soil, we're gonna kind of make a little divot that we can put our plant in. Then I'm gonna take another pepper here, and just like we did with the soil, place it firmly and press down. We're just gonna add some water to the pot. Now it's easy to overwater in pots, so just be careful. We got the pooling we need, so we're gonna let that kind of sit down for a while. Potting soil is really dry when you first put it into the pot, but after you get some water in it, the soil will retain some moisture for a while. So in doing this, make sure there's three things you can really do to ensure that your gardening will be successful. So first, plant the plant in good quality soil and make sure it's in there tightly and it's structurally sound as you plant. Second is make sure you're planting in an area that gets plenty of sunlight. 8 hours of full sun a day during the spring and summer months is what you need. Next, make sure you're watering an adequate amount. We don't want to water too much, but we also don't want our plants to dry out. Look at the soil day to day and see, is the plant moist? Is the soil around the plant getting enough water, or do we need to kind of mix the watering a little bit? So I hope these tips were helpful in you getting started with your garden this year. Stay tuned for more about how to go from mowing to growing in your yard.